Hello and welcome to another episode of Retrospective Gaming. In this episode I'll be covering Fallout New Vegas. Now I am a big fan of the Fallout series, and just to let you guys know, I will be covering other games in the series later on. And this is my 5th playthrough of the game, and I absolutely love this game. I'm a big fan of it and I enjoy each playthrough. But anyways, let's get on with it. Fallout New Vegas. The story starts off with you, the Courier, delivering a platinum chip. Now on this way of delivering this item, you are ambushed by a man named Benny and a couple of great cons. Then, he shoots you in the head and leaves you to die. And if it wasn't for a mysterious robot named Victor saving you and sending you off the good springs to get patched, then you would be dead. Now this is where you create your character, and after getting patched up by the doctor, you are off to figure out what is so important about this item and why you got shot in the head for it, and who is this man named Benny and what the hell's going on. Now I really like the story in Fallout New Vegas, and I'm gonna name 2 reasons why. Number 1, the factions that are involved. From the bigger factions like the New California Republic or Kaiser's Legions to the smaller factions like the Kings, the Jackals, the Fiends, or Brotherhood of Steel, these factions all play a part in the main and side quests, whether they play a big part or a small part. The fact that they're there with their own goals and what they're trying to accomplish, it really makes the world feel very alive. And I love all these factions. And the backstory to this game is that before you were shot in the head at the Hoover Dam, which whoever controls that has a lot of stake in power, there was a battle between the New California Republic and Kaiser's Legion. And in this battle, the New California Republic battled off Kaiser's Legion. And in the present day, in this game, Kaiser's Legion is still building up their forces for another assault on the Hoover Dam to try to take it over. And this does play a big part in the main story. Now, the second reason I love the story in this game is you really feel like you do have a part in the world, and the decisions that you make an effect. You really do, especially in the main story near the end. Your decisions do really make a big effect. And another thing I like, and it's a small minor thing, but the speech skill. I really love the fact that it does play a big part in this game, because major decisions, if you get your speech skill high, you can really affect everything, not even by shooting anybody or pointing a gun at someone, just by convincing them because you have a high speech skill. I really love the fact, because if it's a real role-playing game, then there should be other ways to handle things besides shooting people, and Fallout New Vegas does do that very well in my opinion. And that's the reason why I have no problems, and I really had no problems with the story. I do have minor problems. It's not the best story in the world. It's not the most well written, but there's a lot of things that are very funny in the game, and it will keep you engaged. Now, when you get to the strip, the New Vegas strip, with all the casinos, I do feel that they kind of rushed the story a little bit there. I wish they would have dragged it out a little longer. Not longer to the point that it just feels like a chore, just a teeny bit longer. But other than that, I think that the story in Fallout New Vegas should keep you very engaged. Just for the factions alone. There's a lot of cool factions in this game. The gameplay. Now I had a lot of fun with Fallout New Vegas. Now I love the fact that they added little things like benches where you could modify a weapon or get different types of ammo. Them small things really do make the game feel better in my opinion. But what I really love is the fact that you really get involved with the skills in this game. Like I said earlier, especially with the speech skill, I love the fact that you can have a major effect on the situation without pulling your gun, just by investing in a high speech skill and maybe talking them out of something or convincing them to do something else. I really love when a game really takes advantage of the skills that they let you have, and Fallout New Vegas does that pretty good. Now, by all means, it doesn't mean that the gameplay is perfect. There are a couple of things that really kind of tick me a little bit. Number 1, there are bugs. People going through walls, you clearly shooting somebody in the head and not registering. Things like that do occur. Even though I didn't find them that much, they still happened. And number 2, the game engine is not that good, like I said, in my opinion. There were lagging and stuttering issues, and it wasn't really a big deal sometimes, but Every now and then it kind of happened like a little too much for my system, even though it shouldn't be doing that on the system like mine. But then again, it's not really that bad, and I don't think it should bug you a little too much. And also, unmodded, it really doesn't have a sprint, and your guy walks really freaking slow. I don't know why. But the guns and the shooting mechanics in this game are pretty good, and I didn't find that much fault with them. And what I really love, like I said before, was the factions. That yes, if you piss this faction off, then you should not go in their territory, and certain factions will even send people after you to kill you. And I love the little things like that are involved with this game because they make it all the better, in my opinion. So overall, while there are minor issues, there's a lot to do in this game, and there's a lot to keep you busy for many hours. Now, I really had no problem with the sound in Fallout New Vegas. For the most part, it does its job very well. The voice acting is great. The one character I really liked was Benny. He was funny as hell, even though he was a bastard in the game. The guns, while they may not sound the cleanest or the best sounds, they do their job, and it's believable. And for the choice of music they decided to put in Fallout New Vegas, now if this is your first Fallout game and you don't really know, the type of they do have a radio station in this game, like they did in Fallout 3, and it plays music, a lot of music from older times like the 50s, 60s, 40s, whatever. But the thing is, if this is your first Fallout game, you might notice that you're trying to understand why are these songs in this game, because aside from the fact that in Fallout New Vegas there's a lot of cowboyish western songs and it goes with the theme because it's Nevada, they really don't have no part being in a post-nuclear Fallout wasteland, even though it's not supposed to go together that well. In its weird way, like in the Fallout titles, the music always comes together very well. It's very calming, and I actually like the soundtrack that they had in this game. So, like I said, I really had no problems with the sound. For the most part, it does its job, and I like the soundtrack that they had in this game. Now, the atmosphere really brought me into the world of Fallout New Vegas, but before I go on with the things that I liked, I just want to explain one thing I did not like about it: the graphics. Now, I am by no means a graphics whore, and I truly do believe in gameplay over graphics, but the graphics in this game are not a big step up from its predecessor, Fallout 3. And I believe that they could have done a lot more with the graphics. Now, I don't want to go on too much about it, but that's my really only gripe about the atmosphere in this game. That while I love its setting, it's really not a big step up from Fallout 3. And honestly, these Fallout New Vegas came out in 2010 and Fallout 3 came out in 2008. There should have been a bigger graphical impact than that of what it came out with. But other than that, I really love the setting in Fallout New Vegas in Nevada. I really love the small towns like Good Springs, which resemble a city that you would have seen in the 1800s, to the place where most people want to go to, the Strip, where it resembles kind of like life before all this nuclear fallout happened, with its casinos and its bright lights. And now I know a lot of people are saying that they expected the Strip to be a lot bigger, with more things in it than it came out with. But this is how I look at it. For us, it really doesn't look all that impressive. But after a nuclear fallout, that city must be the greatest thing in the world to a lot of people. So that's where I think it comes from, and it still looks very beautiful to me. And yeah, I do wish it kind of had a little more in it. You know, you hear all this talk about the Strip, and it was kind of lackluster in what it had. But if I was in that world of Fallout New Vegas, I would think it was the greatest thing ever made. But overall, I'm very happy that they decided to go with this kind of Western theme and put it in Nevada. And I'm glad that there's a lot of things to do in this wasteland. Yeah, I think there's some areas where it's kind of like spaced out with just land and nothing to do in it. But for the most part, they put a lot of areas to explore and a lot of things to discover and a lot of secrets. So overall, the sound and the atmosphere are very good in Fallout New Vegas. And for me, it brought me into the world very well, and I found myself getting lost in it. Even though this is like the 4th time I played it, I still get lost in the game every time I play it. So, at least for me, the developers did a great job in that aspect. Now overall, I had a lot of fun with Fallout New Vegas. Obsidian did a great job with the atmosphere and with the writing. Even though it's not the best writing in my opinion, it's still very clever writing, and I like the situations that they put you in this game, and I love the main story. Even though I think that they could have dragged it out a little bit longer, I still love the story in this game. I loved how they put the different factions in this game, the ideas that they had for some of the side quests, and like I said, overall the atmosphere. It drew me into this game very well. And even though there are some issues that I had, I still believe that it's a great game. Even though that the graphics should have been a little bit better and some performance issues should have been worked on a little bit more, Obsidian did a great job with this game. And whether you're a longtime Fallout fan or you're just getting into Fallout, I do believe that this game will be very fun to you. And if you like the content, why not subscribe to find out when I come out with new videos. As always, thanks for watching another episode and have a great day.